If you're a creator and you don't have a newsletter, you're missing out. Watch to the very end to see how hundreds of creators on beehiiv are making thousands of dollars every time they send out an email, and to see how much you could potentially make if you were to start a newsletter. It's also important to note that when we're talking about newsletters, we're not talking about email marketing that you get from random retailers or what most people consider spam. What we're actually talking about is valuable written content that you can send your audience frequently. This can look like behind the scenes of your operations. This can mean breaking down news that's in your industry. This can be writing about your past experiences. This can mean a lot of different things. Just like I call in Samir's newsletter called The Published Press, where they break down news in the creator economy. This content is actually very similar to what they post on YouTube, which makes it valuable to their audience. One of the biggest perks of starting a newsletter is it opens up opportunities to get paid. Similar to how you can sell ad space in your videos, you can also sell ad space in your newsletter. This could look like a banner ad at the top of the email or a sponsor segment in the email. And if you already have an audience and already do brand deals, you can simply charge more per brand deal by packaging your newsletter in your typical sponsorship packages. For example, instead of offering one Instagram reel, one Instagram story, in a YouTube video, you can add it in a sponsored segment in your newsletter and right off the bat, charge more for that brand deal. And even better, if your newsletter is on beehiiv, you'll have direct access to our ad network where we'll actually bring you ad opportunities with no additional effort on your part. And if you're on beehiiv, you can also get paid for recommending other email newsletters through beehiiv through what we call boosts. This doesn't even take into account that you can monetize your newsletter through the same methods that you monetize other social channels, like through affiliate marketing, premium subscriptions, paid communities, digital products, courses, and more. Now that you have an additional audience on another platform, you can simply promote on that platform as well. Just like at Arnold Schwarzenegger, who uses his daily newsletter, Arnold's Pump Club, to help promote his book, his podcast, and his app all organically. You can also look to Kara and Nate, who started a daily newsletter on travel and diversified away from their successful YouTube channel and added an additional revenue stream to their business. Now, instead of solely relying on YouTube AdSense and sponsorships on that platform, they could also now make money on their newsletter. Just think about this. They send out an email every single day to over 700,000 subscribers. Just think about the additional revenue they're generating just because they decided to collect some emails. If you're interested in learning about monetization, you can actually use the links below for a calculator that will help estimate how much you're potentially missing out on by not having a newsletter. You could run calculations on how much you could be making if you were to run ads in your newsletter, if you were monetizing through Boost, or if you had a premium subscription to your newsletter. Do you ever wonder what you would do if one day YouTube or Instagram disappeared along with your audience? Or if your content stopped getting views, if you got shadow banned, if YouTube stopped paying out creators? Basically, what would you do if all the time and effort you spent creating content was for nothing? Well, that's where newsletters come in. Unlike social media platforms, email has actually been around for a while, around half a century. Not only this, people use email for work, for school, for their personal lives, and people all around the world use it, and people of all ages. In fact, by 2026, there's expected to be 4.73 billion email users worldwide. So basically, there's a good chance that the same people using email today will also use it a decade from now, which cannot be said about most social media platforms. Just look at Vine and all these different platforms that once were popular but don't exist anymore. There's a good chance that this could happen to one of the platforms that you have a big audience on. Social media, on the other hand, is relatively new, and there are new platforms popping up and shutting down every couple of years. In other words, email is much more reliable, and if you want to make the most of your audience, your virality, and make sure that you're still around making content in the future, it might be smart to make an email newsletter. This is because when you publish a newsletter, you can ensure your audience actually gets it. You can also be pretty sure that the person you're sending the newsletter likes your content, because after all, they opted into receiving your emails. This makes for a much more engaged audience and a higher chance your content is seen. And this is good because when you have a highly engaged audience, there's more opportunities to monetize, and there are more chances that your hard work and the content you make will be rewarded. The same way TikTokers start YouTube channels and YouTubers start companies, every creator should start a newsletter to diversify their audience and their monetization. This is because with social media, you're at the mercy of the platform, so you never know what will happen. Like if there's a change in the algorithm or your content isn't being recommended by it, you could be spending hours on a video and get nothing from it. If the platform shuts down, you lose all your followers. And you can't really take the followers with you to another platform unless you excessively promote it. And if you're monetizing your audience through something like AdSense and there's a policy change, you're out of luck. Just look at what just happened to TikTok's creator fund that they just shut down, or YouTube's adpocalypse in 2017. If you were reliant on those platforms for ad revenue, you'd be out of luck. With a newsletter, you own the relationship between you and your follower. As long as you have someone's email and they opt into receiving emails from you, you can stay in contact with them as long as you want. In a hypothetical example, imagine being one of the top creators on Vine in 2012, only later to witness the app completely shut down just 1 year later. Basically, all your hard work and followers were just lost instantly, and your ability to monetize is gone. On the other hand, if you had started a newsletter and started collecting your followers' emails, you would still be in touch with them today and be able to monetize this relationship. And it would actually make the transition to different platforms easier because you can simply promote through your newsletter. That's about it for this video. If you are a creator and you're interested in learning more about beehiiv, you can check the link below.